Solo.
Hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. I need to wait until this catches up because OBS has done an update and decided to resize all my stuff. And I'm not sure this is looking right on camera. So keep my fingers crossed. Let me see my own ugly mug on camera here and see how this works out. Otherwise, I might have to do some quick resizing. Oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Urel, let's go. Otis says okay. I don't know what happened here, but all my stuff got shrunk, and that is not acceptable for sure. So I don't know why. Full screen, window projector, preview scaling, scale to window. Oh, that's gonna work out better. All right, I should be able to take care of this rather quickly. Boy, it's always something. I mean, one of these days, I'm going to be an absolute beast at all of this stuff, y'all. And it's going to be a fantastic day for all of us. All right, does that fit now? Yeah, there was a setting wrong. I'm glad I figured it out quick. Oh, come on, stay right there. Now you get to watch me be awkward on camera for about 5 minutes, but it should only take about, all right, so it's 13:07 at 7:34. That doesn't mean anything to you, but that's fine. And then we're going to have to do the same thing on this screen. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So we're going to do this and this. And I'll have to make that a little bit bigger. This is great. I'm sure this is riveting video. If this is the first time in solo playthroughs, welcome to solo playthroughs. I'm normally not this discombobulated, I want to say, but that's probably not entirely true. This is definitely a special sort of discombobulated for sure. And that's just a fun word. Let's just keep saying it. So we have the 3-camera view, which is going to have the nice up close personal view of my hand. I'm going to actually get that just like that. That looks good. Let's go back to this view just because I like it. And we can rearrange the stuff on camera a little bit. All right, so not a total disaster. Sorry about that. Just had to basically re-upload all my cameras onto OBS because it was like, nope, not going to work for you. You're going to have to do this a new way today, Greg. And I was like, that's not good. I don't know why this seems more zoomed in than that. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. Is it zoomed in or just moved over? I don't know. I think it's going to have to do, though. I mean, it's I could try to make it a little bit smaller. I think this one's a little bit bigger. That's what I think is going on. And I am a perfectionist, which is super fun for all y'all. There you go. Totally sized exactly how I want it. Excellent. Let me get the chat up here. And we'll go on here. So screen's small. Jonathan Kikoski bringing it like Sherlock Holmes over here. Mr. Detective. I love it. Hello. We got a bunch of stuff. I am purple, but I am the same person. I would not have noticed the color difference, man. But hello, and thank you for this ridiculous patron challenge. Otis was a patron of mine for a while, earned himself a patron challenge, is unable to be a patron at this point, but he earned it, and I am not going to take away the excitement of this challenge. This was a very fun challenge to work on, and exactly what this is for. I would not have put this combo together. I wanted to do varied terrains at some point, so sooner was better than later, and woof, this was a hard one to figure out. I won on my WAN. I don't know what WAN is. I'm just making up words today. I did win on like my 6th try, so that was earlier today. Hopefully we can get 2 in a row, but this is going to be a very, very hard challenge. We have, but watching on TV, so it works for me. Fits. England 4 plus varied terrain sounds pretty difficult. Yeah, it's nuts. It does sound difficult for sure. I had never played varied terrains. Obviously, I had played England a bunch. I have not played Finder in a while. I have played Volcano recently, and the synergies there are really nice. Now, as always, for me personally, I find sometimes when you have a certain thing that you're going to do, it feels a little gimmicky, but it can be really, really fun. This is definitely a combination of spirits I would highly recommend for anyone to try because there's a lot of natural synergy there for sure. It's not a game I would want to play all that often, though, because again, eventually it's the same stuff. But I mean, I find Finder and River, like the control spirit, is a little gimmicky anyway. Just not my preferred playstyle. But this was awesome for sure. So everything's kind of where it needs to be. Let me go ahead and get my 2 starting boards. Bam, we have board C. Board C is not amazing for Volcano, but hopefully we can make that work. I might start him in 3, which is woof. It's a weird start. And then let's go and roll for Finder. Finder is on board B. So 2 of the OGs when it comes to boards here. And that should work fairly nice. Do I want to move those to the other side? Yeah, let's move these to the other side. We're going to need maximum space over here. And I think that will work just a little bit better for what I'm trying to do. So we have varied terrains, little story time with Greg. The island's terrains are diverse. The mists and streams of high mountains, the arid scrubs of hot sands, river valleys and swamps, jungle trees towering high. The invaders have reason to seek all these places out, but each has its own character. Now this scenario is notably harder for England. Yes, it is. Each terrain has a unique effect. Whenever we explore into mountains, they will put 2 explorers, not just 1. Whenever we build a city in jungles, it will automatically add a blight because the jungles are clear-cut. What? Clear-cut for land. Excellent. Whenever the sands add blight, they will always cascade, even if they wouldn't otherwise. And whenever you build on wetlands, you build twice if the first build is successful. Rough. That is very hard with England. The needing to control the wetlands and isolate them, hopefully with Finder, is going to be a big part of our ability to win here. If England comes off first, yeah, it's going to be really tough. Could be a short day. However, that was the game I just won with England was first, but I was able to get control of the board in a way. Plus, I was on board F for Volcano, which really helped. I'm not sure how you do this challenge without Volcano, so I do appreciate Otis giving me Volcano for this particular one. The Kingdom of England, additional loss condition, proud and mighty capital of 7 or more cities and towns are ever in a single land. The invaders win. That is something you definitely need to be super conscious of the entire game. Stage 2 escalation, building boom on each board with cities and towns. Build in the land with the most cities and towns. Again, if that's in wetlands, you build twice. Oh, the joys. Level 1, England. Invader build actions affect lands without invaders if they are adjacent to at least 2 cities and towns. Hello, isolate. We will love you very much today. We have criminals and malcontents during setup. Add a town to land number 2 and a city to land number 1, and then we will have the high immigration tile in place for the entire game. I thought about doing England 3, but the reality is when I play England 3, I forget to take the friggin' high immigration tile away anyway, and I end up playing England 4, so might as well just play England 4. I would definitely not want to do this challenge in England 5 or England 6. I have not tried. It does not sound fun. So we're going to chill here on England 4. I'm rejoining soon. We'll probably be the same tier for 2 months so I can get one more playthrough. Awesome. Then maybe downgrade for a while. So you've enjoyed this combination. Yeah, dude, this was really, really cool. I thought the Finder and Volcano could help set up some big boppers. Yes. I don't... There will be a big bopper. I don't think mini boppers will work in this game. You're going to need to basically get everything around Volcano that you can and just blow it all up. Now this board C is not ideal for that because there is not a mountain in a place, and board C and B, there is not a place where I can put Volcano where he will be adjacent to a large amount of lands. However, I mean, if I start Volcano in 7, it makes a little bit of sense. Why? Because you have a starting town there. So maybe I start in 7, then quickly move to 3, and then I can try to assert myself on the coast. Because then if I can have a big bopper in 3, I'll take out 2, 4 on board C, and I could take out 3, 4, and 7 on board B, and then if I can use Finder just to kind of keep funneling things out of, the inland lands for board C, kind of give myself a chance. I don't know. I don't love it. I want board F. Please give me board F. I want you to amend your patron challenge that I can start with board F. That would be so much better, dude. But we are going back to sorry for the late start time for those of you who are across the pond, and this is not a viable time for you. This was a time that worked better for Otis, and I'm happy to accommodate my patron challenges, just like I will accommodate earlier times for my own schedule and for other people when we need to. So, one of the nice things about doing more live playthroughs is basically jockeying back and forth between 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m. So we'll have different times that work for different people. And happy to do that. So I do think maybe I start in 7 for the sole purpose of taking out this town. Anyway, what was I just doing? I shuffled all of the powers. Again, my minor powers are in green. My major powers are in blue. I'm shuffling the event deck. Hopefully they will be very kind to me for this ridiculous challenge. And then we will shuffle up the blight cards. Again, there is 8 fear. I'm not playing against level 5 England, or level 6 England, in which there would be 10 fear, which is just bananas. I'm flipping over cards in my hands because shuffling is hard, apparently. Let me roll a d20. Starting from the bottom, I rolled a 10, so 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and number 10 on the top. Boom. Getting 4 blight. And then the Eric Royce loves you so very much, Blight. And that is great. We're going to put Volcano here with the Badlands. My voice is cracked because, puberty's a bitch. I'm going to put a Finder there, and I could put the other presence for Finder in 1 on board B or 1 on board C. I will put it in 1 on board B. I think that makes the most sense. All right. I will have ample access to get onto Volcano's board as this develops, and I'm going to need to stop and take a drink in about 5 seconds, and by 5 seconds, probably like a minute. Anyway, we're putting the starting Dahan. We have the Mountain Dahan in 3, the Wetland Dahan in 5, the Jungle Dahan in 1, and the Sands Dahan in 6 on board C. We're going to get the starting Beast in land 4. That is the lowest numbered land without a pre-printed setup icon. We're going to get a starting Disease in land 2. We're going to get a City in 1 and 2. We're going to get a starting Blight in 5. And we're going to get 2 towns, 1 town in 2. And we're going to put another town in 5. We're going to put a town over here in 6, a town in 2, starting cities in 1 and 2. Starting Beast is going to be in the lowest number land without a pre-printed setup icon, which is 5. We're going to have the starting Disease in 2. We're going to have the starting Blight in 4. Now all we need is our Dahan. We have our Mountain Dahan in 7, 2 Jungle Dahan in 8, 2 Sands Dahan in 3, and our Wetland Dahan in 1. That completes the setup of the boards, which is nice. Let's get some fear cards. So let's talk about the special rules. Volcano looming high. Mountain home. Your presence may only be added or moved into mountains. Collapse in a blast of lava and steam when your presence is destroyed in that land to deal 1 damage to the destroyed per destroyed presence to both invaders and to Dahan. Volcanic peaks tower over the landscape. Your power cards grant +1 range if you have 3 or more presence in the origin land. That is only your power cards. Finder of pets unseen. Responsibilities to the dead. After one of your actions destroys 1 or more Dahan or invaders, or directly triggers their destruction by moving them, destroy 1 of your presence and lose 1 energy. If you have no energy to lose, destroy another presence. Oh, the joys, or open the ways. You may make up to 2 of your lands adjacent at a time. You may change which lands are adjacent once between actions. I remember spirit icons during growth. I mean, any icon up here, if you're carrying that out, is an action. Anytime you're doing a power card is an action. Anytime you do something with the Invader deck is an action. So it's very, very flexible. I have these 2 stones. If I ever am using Open the Ways, I will use these 2 stones to show like what I have connected. And then I have these. Again, there are a bunch of things on my board that are once a turn things, so I'll use those orange to indicate when I've used those certain powers. The green tokens up there I'll use to show what growth option I've picked. I will try to be on top of all that But if you've watched my playthroughs before, you know that as my brain starts to get overrun in the later half of these scenarios, sometimes I get a little bit lazy about doing all of that, but I will endeavor to stay on top of it. We're going to have 5 fear cards below the Terror level 3 divider. We're going to have 5 fear cards on top of that, Terror level 2 divider, and the 4 fear cards on top of that. So we have a 4-5-5 fear deck. We will be going through that very slowly early, and then hopefully get a bunch of fear once we do a big bopper about halfway through. I mean, I won't stop you laughing. I guess that's about board F. That's funny. Rocket Magnet, been playing a bit on the app recently and helped clarify some rules I was getting wrong. I do win less as a result, though. Dude, go back to the old rules. I won't stop you to choose Otis's phrase. The Eric Rice loves you blight will be helpful. Oh, indeed. Indeed. All right, I need to set up the Invader deck. We're going to have our stage 3 cards. Need to roll a die. I rolled a 5, so that card is out. This is the bottom of the Invader deck. We're going to have 4 stage 2 cards. Again, it's a very vanilla Invader deck. It's going to be a 3-4-5. I rolled a 6. There's only 5 stage 2 cards. I rolled another 5, so that comes out. And then I'm going to shuffle these 4 cards, make sure I take out anything other than the wetlands, and then make sure the wetlands remains on top, because that's about how this is going to go for me. I just have a feeling. so obvious. So that was a 2. So I took that out, and now the final step of setup, the initial explore, is to wetlands. No, upset city. That's the sands, baby. All right, not terrible. So we're going to get an explorer here, an explorer here, an explorer here, and un explorer over here. Fantastic. So let me go to this other camera view. Ooh, look at all those cards. Those are our starting cards. Again, the starting cards for Volcano: Pyroclastic Bombardment, Rain of Ash, Lava Flows, and Exaltation of Molten Stone. These starting cards for Finder, who does start with 6 cards, is Aid from Spirit Speakers, Ways of the Shore and Heartland, Offer Passage Between Worlds, Path Tied by Nature, A Circuitous and Winding Journey, or Wending Journey, and then Traveler's Boon, which actually could be pretty helpful with what I want to do with Volcano. The cards that come out of the Invader deck will be more important with the varied terrains. Yeah! I've learned this true fact. I'm going to try to make this tilt a little bit more without falling over. Don't fall. All right, we're good. So you have to just be very nice to your equipment, and then it does what you want it to do. Kind of, except for whatever the heck was going on with my OBS earlier today. So I am going to do growth option 2 with Volcano. Let's start getting a big stack of presents. I'm going to use this red die here to indicate how much presents is in that stack, because again, I will not going to be splaying it around like I normally do. I'll try to get the card cam off as soon as I pick my starting card. And actually, I'm actually going to do this. So I'm going to do 1 bottom track, 1 top track. That's going to give me 2 energy in the presence phase. So I'll take that now before I forget. And actually, let's bring this over here so I'm not straining myself, just trying to reach some energy. And then all the 3s. I'll just put it over here. All right, let's try to get this somewhat orderly. And boom. So I'm taking 2 energy from the presence track for Volcano. There and there. He's going to have 1 card play. I am going to choose Rain of Ash. I think that makes some sense, because I can hopefully negate adjacencies here. Just keep everything moving this way. Get my presence over here with Traveler's Boon, I think is my ultimate plan. So Rain of Ash, that's going to cost both the energy I just got, and that would be super exciting. So now what are we going to do? We're going to go to Finder's turn. Finder's going to go top track. So this is a new, I used to always open with Finder when I would go with Earth. I've been trying the Sun water thing and then kind of coming down to here to get the 2 card plays. It's a little more awkward, but it gets me the elements I want. A little easier to trigger and isolate with Close the Ways, having 1 water on your track. it does make it harder to trigger some other things though. So there's always like a give and a take, but I like getting to that water second, make sure I'm not going to be energy poor. And then once I get here, I have a bunch of options of which ways I want to go. I can get a third card play a turn. I get that push a town or a city off one of your lands, which is super nice. You know, you can get up here, get plus 2 more energy. You get up here an energy and an element. So I just like that extra flexibility. And this to me is the oh, actually that's not even connected. So you have to go here, 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 and then get down that way. It's interesting. I might have cheated in my playthrough. I could go. Oh, that's different. Again, this board's like a lattice, so you have to make sure there's a connection. Huh. I still think top track makes the most sense. Actually getting up to 4 energy and then coming down again, but you're just one more turn away from getting that extra card play, which is a little rough. But I think we're still going to go with that. So I'm going to top track that, get the sun element off my board. Adjacencies. Yeah, it's going to be hard to prevent the build there because you have a structure in both 1 and 6. It's going to be hard to prevent the build there because you have a structure both in 5 and 3. But I think this will be good. I do want to I want to negate all adjacencies to 8. The more I can shrink the board, the better, for sure. I have an idea. So I'm going to put this here. Nope, I lied. I'm going to put this here. So I'm going to do growth option 2, which gives me add a presence 1 away from my hat presence, and it gives me an extra card play this turn. So I can play 2 cards. The 2 cards I want to play, one is going to be Paths Tied by Nature, and the second one I want to play is going to be, that's fast, so that's not going to work. I'm going to play a Circuitous and Wending Journey. So that doesn't cost me any energy. It's a good thing because I don't get any energy in my presence track yet. So we're just basically stuck at 0 energy for this turn. I'm going to do my element check. So I have a bunch of dice to determine my elements. I have 1, 2 suns. I have 1 moon. I have 1, 2 air. I have 0 waters. I have 1 earth. And that means I'm not going to be able to isolate anything this turn, but it still puts me in a decent place. I'll be able to move a lot of invaders after this round. So how do I want to do this? I have only 1 and 8 over here for Finder. It's going to be the second level of lay pass they cannot help but walk because I have the 2 sun and the 2 air. So I get to push out the 1 invader. The range is 0. It has to be a land where I have presence at that point. So push up to 1 invader, Dahan, presence, or beast. And I will. Yeah, moving this guy just doesn't make any sense because there's still going to be 2 towns adjacent to it. So I will push this guy. I'm going to make these 2 adjacent. I'm going to push this town over here. That will make it build a city. I'm not as worried about that. I just want to get everything over. And I don't want to push it there to have a city there. I could push it there, but then again, wetlands start building and that's going to be really gross. I just think it makes sense. Let me get as many towns as I can as far away from this as I can. So we'll do that. Yeah, I could just load up 3. That could become a little bit of a problem, but I'd be fine with that. So that's going to cost that. I'm done with that at this point. We're now going to do explosive eruption. So I can destroy a presence in 7, which would immediately wipe out that town. Not sure if that makes all the sense in the world yet. Because this is going to build, so it's not going to negate any adjacency to 8. So I think I'm going to let that ride, keep my presence there. There's no point destroying that town for 1, because again, because of if I destroyed that one presence. So even though I'm not hitting the threshold, if I destroyed that presence, that would be 1 damage because it collapsed in the blast and lava and steam, then a 2nd damage because there's the Badlands there. So that's how I can destroy this town, even though I don't have any of the elemental thresholds to do anything more than the base ability. What's the base ability for Explosive Eruption? Destroy X, 1 or more of your presence in target land. And then for each presence you destroy, you'll have collapse and a blast of lava and steam. If I destroy 2 presence, then I trigger the first level of this. If I destroy 3, I'll trigger the second. But again, you also need the elemental thresholds. It's kind of similar to many mines when they're like, hey, here are the elements you need, but you also need as many beasts in that land as well. So not the most awe-inspiring of fast power phases, but I think it's going to have to work. So let's go to the Invader phase. Jagged Earth rules. The top event card just gets out of the game. You do not resolve it. It's way too swingy of a thing to do. And now we're going to do the Invader steps. So we're going to do a build action. We're building there. That's going to be a town. The disease comes off land 2. We're building a city over here and a town here. We're exploring. It is wetlands. Of course it is. Yikes. So that gets an explorer. This gets an explorer. This gets an explorer. And this gets an explorer. So those are going to be high priority to start moving those suckers out and get rid of all adjacencies. All right. That is rough. So now we have our slow power phase. I have 2 powers with Finder. His powers are Paths Tied by Nature, which is move up to 2 invaders, Dahan, Presence, or Beast to a land within 2 of the same terrain. And then Circuitous and Wending Journey, push up to half invaders from target land, rounding up. Do likewise for Presence, Dahan, and Beasts. All right, I'm going to do Paths Tied by Nature, 1 away from my half presence. We're going to move these within 2 to a terrain of the same type. I'm going to move this over to land 3. We'll just kind of let land 3 go to crap a little bit. That's fine. It still has an adjacency with this mountain, which will be important in a little bit. We are now going to do a Circuitous and Wending Journey. I can push land where I have presence. I could push the stuff out of 3. I don't really want to at this point. The problem is if it ravages and sands, it's going to do a Blake Cascade right off the bat, which is super annoying. How annoying? Very annoying. Oof. Can't build there. I'm going to do Rain of Ash, get 2 fear, move this over here. And I guess the real question now is Circuitous and Wending Journey. Do I try to get things out of there? Because that's going to build a town or city. Do I just push this guy out of here? It's half rounded up. I don't love it because it's a decently strong card otherwise. I can prevent all builds in 6. I think that makes the most sense. So I'm going to push up to half, round it up. I'm going to push this explorer into land 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my presence. I'm going to push my presence into land. I don't want to push it in 3. That presence is in serious danger of getting removed from the game at this point. So I'm going to just push this presence into 5. Or do I want to make a sacred site in 3? Remember, these are considered adjacent. So when I'm pushing, I can just, again, they're still adjacent. So I can just make that adjacency with Open the Ways. And I give myself a sacred site in here. But I think having more presence, let me just actually push this into 7, and that will give me a kind of a backdoor into the coast over here for Volcano's board in a way that I think will make some sense. So those 2 cards are discarded. We're going to the time passes phase of things. Checking out the chat. the cards that come out, which terrain would you say is the worst, and which one is the one that is the least bad? I mean, the worst I think is easily against England. It's wetlands. It's unbelievably bad. I think the least bad's probably jungles, but you just got to be careful that the way what structures you leave there, that it's not building a city. Mountain definitely seems to have the least bad effect. Yeah, that's probably accurate too. Mountain can be annoying though, because if like you have a thing that's like you can try to dink off an explorer, and then all of a sudden that's still going to crush you. That could be super annoying. Oh man, I don't love pushing these guys here, but I definitely don't want to push them into the wetlands, so I'm gonna have to make that work. All right, well, let's go back to growth. What are we doing? That's a good question. I'm gonna get a power card with Volcano, and let me get to the other view. Oop, why did it go away? There we go. So I'm in the other view, and we're going to. Did I never take that off the screen? No, I took that off the screen. I don't know. Someone can tell me if I didn't. We're going to get 2 energy. We're also getting 2 energy from the presence track. My whole goal with Volcano is I want to get up to 3 card plays. It really just opens up a whole lot of good things. So I'm going to be very heavy bottom track for a while now. So 2 energy, 2 energy. I'm going to add a presence within range 4. And I will add this presence into land 3 like I kind of foreshadowed. I'm going to have an extra card play this turn, so I will have 2 card plays this turn. I'm going to gain a power card. I'm looking for a fire mountain mix. So no, I mean fire especially is, there we go, whatever. I don't care about the rest of this. I really need that fire. So it is what it is. I don't care what the rest of you are. I'm sure you were great, but we have right of lands rejection. So target land 2 away from where you have presence, or sacred site we have presence. Target land has to have a Dahan. Invaders do not build in target land this turn. 1 fear per cities or towns, or 1 fear per Dahan, whichever is less, or I can push up to 3 Dahan. Now that could be pretty awesome in land 5, just to prevent that build altogether. Nope, I won't prevent. Oh, it doesn't build. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if there's adjacencies or not. Oh, I like you even more. You are my friend. So, we're going to go to the card cam. What is the other card I want to play? Remember, I have a second card play. Pyroclastic Bombardment is kind of interesting. I'm going to be Blight Cascading here, Blight Cascading there. All of that makes me a little sad. Will I be Blight? I don't think I'm going to have a choice. I could do Lava Flows, try to get that out. Yeah, that's fine. I might change my mind on that, but for now, that cost me 2 energy. We're going to do an element check. I have a fire and a earth showing on my board, so I'm going to have 3 and 3. I have no air, and that will give me the second level of explosive eruption. I would still need to destroy 4 presence to make that work, however, which probably isn't going to happen, and then it will give me the first 2 levels of powered by the furnace of the earth. The first level allows me to add a destroyed presence to the land, and the second level lets me spend 2 energy for a power card. All right, what am I doing with Finder, this mess of a spirit who I love so much? All right, well, Finder. How do you do, Finder? I'm going to need to get some energy, and that water spot is a really nice way to do it. Bam. I think that's going to have to be my path here. I could go down here, get the moon next, get the ability to move. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but I think that will work. So I want to get the energy. I'm going to do this growth option again. So I'm adding a presence. I'm doing growth option B again, so I can play 2 power cards. Let me get the 2 energy here. I want to add this within range 1. I'm not sure I want to add it yet, so let me figure out what cards I'm going to play. Traveler's Boon for sure, because I want to move. Ooh. I want to relocate all of Volcano stuff to 3. It's time. So Traveler's Moon for sure. What else do I want to play? That gives me a water. If I can get a moon, an air, oh, beautiful. I'll play Offer Passage Between Worlds. That costs me 1 energy. So those are my 2 card plays. I have 1 energy left, and I can put this presence somewhere. Where do I want to put this presence? I will put this presence in land number 1 away. I'll put it in land number 3. Let me try to, I need to get up into land 1 at some point during this playthrough for sure. So first I'm going to do Explosive Eruption. I'm going to destroy 2 of the presents in land 7. That's going to cause 3 damage because it's 2 plus the 1 to destroy that. And since I destroyed 2 presents in 1 land within X, with 1 land within range 1, I can do X damage. I'm going to kill that explorer as well. So I generate my first fear of the game. No, my 3rd fear of the game. Sorry, I just generated 2 fear last round. Oh, before I did that, I needed a sacred site. I'm going to put Right of Land Rejection in place in land number 5, so they will not build this Invader phase, which is super nice. And that's all good. And then Traveler's Boon, target spirit moves up to 3 of their presence to 1 of your lands. Finder had to put a presence there, so it's going to move this presence. It can move 1 Dahan. So these Dahan are kind of in a bad spot because they're probably just going to get blown up, but maybe I can move them off there with Offer Passage Between Worlds at some point. We have basically 2 red, or 2 presents here. Come on, there we go. So we have 2 presents in land 3, and Volcano has relocated. So if there was a beast or if there was a Dahan, I could move exactly one of them with me. If there was an Invader there, I could move 1 with me. But alas, none of that was in place. So kind of like it. Not going to build there. Puts me in a decent spot for some options in subsequent turns. Office Passage Between Worlds. Oh, let me do my element check for Finder. We have 2 suns, 2 moon, 2 air. Looking at the board, we have a water there. Actually, let me change the colors out here. So 2 air, 1 water here, 1 water on the board. So 2 waters and no earth. That is going to allow me to isolate 1 land, which is pretty strong. And it's also going to allow me to do both the 1st and 2nd levels of Lay Pass. They cannot help but walk. I'm going to use Offer Passage Between Worlds in land 3 over there. So basically, if there's two uses of this. The next time Dahan will be destroyed in target land, destroy 2 fewer, or move up to 4 Dahan between target land and 1 of your lands. So I'm just going to use the 2nd effect and save the 2 Dahan that are there, and at least they'll be able to fight back and wipe out some of the stuff that's there. And I'm going to do Lay Plastic and not help but walk. I'm going to connect 3 and 1. And I'm going to push up to half of the invaders rounded down. So I'm going to push 1 invader into the mountain. And then I can push up to 1 more invader. I'm going to push this invader here as well. Hopefully something comes up that I can just get rid of that invader so it doesn't build, which would be pretty nice because that would be a really gross build if it builds. I know that the next because this isn't building, this isn't adjacent, that's not adjacent. I know that the next card is going to be either jungles or mountains. So there's not going to be a source to that mountain. There's definitely going to be a source to that jungle no matter what. There's going to be a source to anything on the coast. There's going to be a source here. So I really want to try to negate adjacencies over here. I can basically isolate a target land, one away from my presence. Now this is a weird power because it has 3 different thresholds, and you could use those 3 thresholds on multiple target lands. Again, normally any innate, it's like this is your target land, you have to do everything there. This allows you to retarget because you can treat all the elemental thresholds as a separate power altogether, which makes sense thematically. I'm gonna hope. I mean, it's a little bit of a gamble. It probably won't work. But I'm going to hope that the event card allows me to take care of that explorer. And if that's the case, then I can negate adjacency from here. And there's 2. Oh, even better. I'm going to isolate land 2. And that way, if that's mountains, I won't get the 2 explorers there. And if this explorer goes away, there will be nothing adjacent, so we won't build in land 1. So that could be really, really helpful. Let me check the chat. The mountain affecting his Russia or France can be rough. Yeah, Andrew R. That is absolutely true. Dana Euler says, I started using transparent colored glass drops that lay flat to represent my unlocked and named powers. It's a good idea. David Coleman, hello, Greg. Burn them down. I'm going to try. I do like the dice above the element icons. No, very cool. Okay. My head already hurts, man. Like, I need to do like a Spirit Island, like just level 1, just nonsense, just to kind of remind me of the days that used to be. Man, these between the Jagged Earth spirits and all the other shenanigans, it's absolutely crazy. But so one of the things, I did not use lava flows. That's a slow power. One of the things that's unfortunate by doing what I did by starting there and then moving there is that that natural badlands I had, well, all of a sudden I don't have a badlands over here. But obviously that's the trade-off. But that was my whole goal. Let me kind of knock out the inland, come here, and then hopefully have a little breathing room. Now, eventually England will get back there. It is England. That's what they do. But hopefully I bought myself a little bit of time. So we're going to go to the event card. Don't kill me. All right. Investigation of dangers. On each board, add a explorer to a land without invaders or Dahan. That's cool. So I'm going to do that in land 4 on this board and land 5 on this board, and you will see why that was an obvious choice for me in 1 second. So again, that was the Terra level 1 effect. The Terra level 2 or 3 effect would be invaders do +3 damage when ravaging in lands with presence and destroying the unnatural. So we did investigation of dangers. We added our explorers. That is it. Prey on the unwary. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Well, ding ding. That was a short-lived reign for them. And then rouse the spirits. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among its lands may use a slow power now instead of later. Well, Mountain doesn't really like, Volcano doesn't really like Dahan. I do actually have 5 Dahan on my lands as the little hummingbird that I am. However, unfortunately, I have no more slow powers, so that would have been great on another turn. Not so great here. And what's also not so great is this guy managed to survive the event, so we have some problems. All right, let's go to Ravage. We are going to Ravage. We're Blight Cascading out of 2. Blight, cascade this into... Oof. Man, I could just make jungles an absolute mess. Sure, why not? I'm going to cascade this into 1. It's scary. That's scary. All right, we're going to do that. And I'm going to Ravage in 3. We're Blight Cascading. So 4 Blight off the card already. We're Blight 3. I'm going to cascade this into 4. My presence is destroyed, so Finder loses 1 presence. However, remember my Dahan survived. They're going to fight back and wipe out the... I think they're just going to wipe out the 2 towns. Because this is probably going to be a land that has the most structures if I destroy the city. So it's just going to rebuild a city. So it just makes sense to limit structures on the board. So 2 towns, 2 fear. So 5 fear down, 3 to go. The Ravage step is done. The build step, not going to build there, not adjacent to structures. Not building there because of right of lands rejection. I'm going to choose to build in 6 first. Oh, guess what? Nothing to build, not adjacent. And now we're going to build in 1. So it's going to build twice because the first build is successful. So we get a town and a city. And that stinks. And next is jungles. All right, so I'm glad I put a bunch of blight in the jungles. What a good idea that was for me. So I put an explorer in 1, explorer in 4. We put an explorer in 4, and there's no adjacency over here to 8. Invader cards advance. This goes on the high immigration tile, and this goes here, also known as the stupid build tile. I'm not really sure if if why am I blanking? Kindred Spirit Podcast. If this is the Suet build, or if the Suet build is the escalation build, I think it's this, or it could just be both. I mean, it's all of it. Just make it happen. It's great. Woof. All right. Well, I need to get some more ability to do damage now in my new home for Volcano. So what I'm going to do is just add a Badlands and a Wilds there. And the next thing I'm going to do is add a destroyed presence there. I could spend my last 2 money to buy a power card. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. So I don't love that idea. Yeah, I'm just going to gain a power card another way next turn. So we're good there. That is the end of my turn. This comes off. Time passes. Anything have to heal? Nope. This comes off. This isolate. This comes off. Excellent. And done. Done. And done. All right, back to growth. I am going to do growth option 3 again with Volcano. We're going from the bottom track, so I will have 3 power cards available to play this turn. I'm going to get 2 energy from the growth, 2 energy from my presence track. Really like popping that little thing off at the beginning, just doubling the energy you're getting from the presence track is so nice. And I'm going to add this to the obvious spot, so we're going to have 4 presence there. I am setting myself up for a big bopper there on turn 5, because I can basically reclaim my cards next turn, put 2 more on there, put this back in place, and we will have 7 presents. So I can destroy 6 of it. That is somewhat dependent on me drawing a card that has a fire icon. So I'm going to gain my power card. Please have fire. No, please have fire. Yay! We have fire. Let there be fire. Oh, the shore seas with hatred. More Badlands. You know how much I love Badlands. Yep, we're going with the shore seas with hatred, because it does. It's what it just really seethes with lots of hatred. So we're playing these 3 power cards. Again, I have 2 card plays from the presence track, and then I have 1 more card play because of growth option C. I'm going to turn those 3 energy in for that, and that. Excelente. It's excellent. Spanish. I probably should go back to that view. There you go. Look at the lack of cards I have left in that little tray here. Yikes. Well, I put myself in a pickle. Don't. I'm 3 away from an extra card play, no matter how you cut it. So at some point, I'm only doing 1 card play with my friend Finder here. So I think I'm just going to gain my power card next turn. Do I want the moon, or do I want the 2 energy, which gets me up to that 1 energy in any? Do I want a moon? A moon would do nothing for me this turn, so forget that. This gets me closer to the air, and I think the air is going to be more important. So I will head this way on the track. I'm going to do growth option B again. I can add this 1 away. I'm going to get a total of 4 energy, so like to see that. Maybe have to do some serious major power digging with Finder here. And I'm going to play these 2 cards. I don't really have any choices, because that's all I have left. So I'm going to turn this 3 in for some change. So I have 5 energy total. I had 1 left. That will go there. That will go there. Checking elemental thresholds. I have 4 and 4 with fire and earth. For Volcano, I have just 1 air. But we'll get another air soon enough. Again, we need 2 air to do the 3rd level of explosive eruption. And we're going to come back here. I have 1, 2 sun, 1 there, 1 on the track. I have 0 moon. I have 2 air, 2 water, and 0 earth. So I do have 1 isolate power, the 1st level of close the ways, and then I have the middle level of lay pass. They cannot help but walk. Why? Why are they doing this to me? These mean people. Woof. All right, where do I want to add this presence? I want to add this presence. Mountain has not come up. I'm going to do a big bop there next turn. I think I can just push or 2 turns from now, I can just push a bunch of stuff into the mountain. That kind of makes me happy. I have to get up to 1 because 1 is a super problem area. So that's been the one thing about doing what I've been doing, and this only doing growth option B. I haven't had a lot of range. It's another argument, but maybe I should have started on Volcano's board because it would have been a lot easier for me to get from 3 to 1 on my own board. But I digress. We're going to put this in 2 and try to get control of Volcano's coast up until 1. So let me mark this. I have this. I actually have the first 3 levels of powered by the Furnace of Earth. And I will check the chat. Chainsaw sound plays, and that's a lot of damage. The Broken Meeple, ooh, Volcano. What's up, dude? How are you? It's good to see Luke. I'm sure everyone knows the Broken Meeple who is here. 4, does that water space give you 2? 4 what? I don't know what I did. What'd I do? You have to tell me what I'm Otis. I'm confused by the question. The 3 formerly known as Mike, Yellow, Gregory. Good to catch you live again. Hope all is good. Hope everything is good, man. I hope you're doing well, Mike or Tree or however you want to go by today. All right, let me get to this other thing, and so you can see my demise. I will never feel good about where I'm at in this playthrough. It's absolute disaster. So I am going to do the following. I'm going to aid from Serpent Speakers. I'm going to push an invader from 1, and I can put it into an adjacent land. Oh, hello, those are still adjacent. I'm going to do lay past, they cannot but walk. I'm going to just push 1 invader, Dahan, Presence, or a beast. I'm going to push this dude. So that will clean up that quite a bit. That's slow. Exaltation of Molten Stone. I have 4 fire. I'm going to be able to... so I get 4 energy. 1 energy per fire I have. And I'm going to have to split that as evenly as possible. So I have to target another spirit. They're going to take 2. I'm going to take 2 because 4 divided by 2 is 2. I know the advanced math never stops on this channel. Now, remember, all my card plays have +1 range when I'm ranging out of a mountain, as long as I have 3 presence there. I have 4 presence there in whatever that is, in land 3. I am not going to use Explosive Eruption this turn. That would not be consistent with my long-term goals here. So, prevent that. But I can, being here, I pretty much have range to anywhere on the island. It's an expensive card, and I don't have great options with it, unfortunately. And I don't have Badlands anywhere too, which would make that card even better. I think I keep control over this jungle as much as possible. There's really no great place to do... Oh yeah, if I kill that, then it'll prevent a build in 6. That's the obvious choice. So 2 away from where I have a sacred site. I'm going to do 1 damage to each structure. So there's 2 health left in that city, 1 health left on that town. I also do 1 damage to the Dahan. I do 1 more damage. I'm going to wipe out the town. That's a fear, so that's 6 fear generated, 2 left in the fear pool before our first fear card, but also 1 more damage to Dahan. I'm very sorry, Dahan. You were not meant to be long for this game. Energy, the water space. Yo, yeah. Yeah, so it's 2 plus 2. It's really strong. And so you have the basically the way Finder's track works is that a number of things are just the norm, that it's just like, hey, you get the highest number showing. So if I had this and this open, that would just be 2. But since I have this open, this is a +2. If I have that open, it's a +1. And if I have that open, it's another +1. So effectively, you can max out on Finder's board with a 6 energy around kind of build, which is really, really nice. And, you know, I mean, again, the problem with Finder, like Finder just builds really slow, right? And it's like, oh, just be a little bit faster, please. But he's pretty darn slow, which can be a thing. So I negated that adjacency. Is there another build I can prevent here? Maybe. In case this beast destroys this explorer, I'm going to isolate land 4 on Volcano's board. That would be pretty nice. I'm trying to think of like what's realistic that might actually be triggered by an event. You know, beasts do a lot of things, and if there's nothing there, I can negate all those adjacencies. Don't build there. I'm gonna get a town here anyway. Even if I get yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's just ravaging next turn, so I'm trying to get ahead of the ravage for sure. All right, those are all of my fast powers. So we go to the event card. Don't kill me, Numinous Crisis. Oh man. Yeah, I thought the water space might just give 1. I just wanted to make sure you should have 4 and not 3. I do have 4. Come on, man. Don't enhance this challenge. All right, the spiritual entity of the island awakens as life's connections grow ever more tattered. You may remove 1 blight per player from the blight card. Then if the blight card is not flipped, keep removing until the blight card flips. Gain 3 energy per blight removed. Divide as evenly as possible in the spirits. Or I can pay 3 energy, forget 2 power cards, or return 1 presence to your track. That is a non-starter. I cannot do that. Add 1 blight per... Oh, man. No. Nope. Ah, man, I don't want to go blighted. I don't want to go blighted yet. All right, I'm going to think about this. I got to take a break real quick. Sorry, nature is calling. I'll be back in... All right, we're back. So I called Eric Royce, asked him what I should do. That'd be amazing if I had like the bad phone to Eric Royce. This is a bad choice. I think I forget power cards. I have to set up. I mean, the only thing that's really bad about power cards is you just every time I reclaim is time I'm not adding presence, and that makes me really worried. I have other ways to get power cards with Volcano. Yikes. All right. I'm going to forget. This is so bad. I'm going to forget Rite of Land's Rejection and Rain of Ash with Volcano. And I'm going to forget Traveler's Boon. And just looking at elements that I'm going to want. And Circuitous and Wandering Journey. Woof. That's rough. For Finder. That is going to let me add 2 Blight, 1 per player, to the Blight card from the box. Living in Healthy Island for a little bit longer could be healthy for me. All right, plagues bring fear and death. 1 fear per board with disease. Only 1 board has disease, so that's 1 fear. So 1 away from a blight card. And when invaders ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 2. Excellent. We are now going to the invader steps. So, stupid builds. We are, well, I can put this away. I just know I'm defended 2. It's not really going to affect anything. So we're building a town in land 3. We're building a town in land 2. No, not enough towns or cities to force a build in 6. Not enough towns or cities to force a build in 5. Oh, I never got rid of this explorer either. So much for that isolate being super awesome. So that's done. We now go to Ravage. We're defended 2 here because of the event card, so this explorer is dead. We're defended 2 here because of the event card, this explorer is dead. Nothing to ravage there, nothing to ravage there. So being able to control the wetlands has been very, very nice. And now we're building. We build a town. Here, we build a town. Here, and we build a town here. Not enough adjacencies to force a build in land 8. Next card, coastal lands. So we don't have to worry about the escalation stupid build, but we do have 1 explorer in 1, 1 explorer in 2. The wilds comes off of 3, which is nice, prevents 2 explorers. And then we have 1 explorer in 1, 1 explorer in 2, and 1 explorer in 3 over here. And beta cards advance. So the sands gets discarded. Wetlands moves over. Build, or that moves over, this moves over. So that's really unfortunate because if this sucker builds, he's going to build 4 times next turn. Yikes. So potentially 6 times as well. So that's really bad. That is high pride to get that dude way the heck out of there. For sure. Woof. I've got some problems, people. Well, let's do the obvious things. I'm going to need to get power cards back because I just lost all my power cards because, numinous crisis. It happens. Sometimes spirits have a crisis. Oh, you know what? Maybe it doesn't make sense to hold on to Pyroclastic Bombardment because it's so darn expensive. And I don't need those elements because I have 4 and 4. So maybe maybe I hold on to Rite of Land's Rejection. I think that makes a lot more sense because I still have a lot of Dahan, and preventing builds could be super nice. And moving Dahan around could be super nice. So I would actually have forgotten this power, which does not affect my elemental thresholds for the slow power phase. So it just is so expensive because knowing that I was going to have to spend a lot of energy now to buy cards, I think that's a smarter play. So now I'm going to add a destroyed presence. So all my destroyed presence is back on the board. We have 5 presence in land number 3. And now I'm going to spend 2 to gain a power card. I'm not going to do the 3rd. Well, I don't even have the 3rd level anymore, but moving 2 between, I'm only going to be in land 3 pretty much the rest of this playthrough. So here's the 2 energy I'm spending. That leaves me 1 energy left on my board, and we're getting a. I want to get a major, but that's not going to work. Let's get a minor power. Again, I really want some fire. There's a fire. And that. Fire for the win. Yeah, inflame the fires of life, adding some disease. Yes, please. That's going to go in my little card holder over there. Volcano now is going to generate 1 more fear, which is a fear card. And they are going to... Man. If either one of those builds a city, that's a super problem. Yikes. All right. And they are going to... so 1 more fear card. We're going to add a Badlands and a Wilds. I will add a Badlands and a Wilds into a coastal land. There's a lot going on. I will add it. Woof. Oh, when we explore it here, we got to add a second explorer. I'm sure somebody put that in the comments. Yeah, so again, mountains always add a second explorer because there's gold there, people, and the explorers are very excited about that. Here and here. All right, who put it in the chat? Yep, Otis is on it. On Founder's board, 2 builds preventing cards that make fire. Top tier stuff. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So we added this with the shore sea. So we're done with Volcano, for better or worse. Feeling a little bit more like it's the for worse. I can't speak today. For worse side of the ledger. So, what is this? Ways of Shore and Heartland. I can push up to 2 invaders, the Han, presence, or beast to a land that is also coastal or inland, whatever the target land is. I 2 away from my presence. All of this is bad. Bad. All right, let me... How confident that I'm going to be able to deal with that explorer? Really don't want to waste this ability on that. I don't like these 3 explorers can cause a blight cascade. That's going to be not great, although having 2 back on the card makes that less of a problem. I mean, these guys inland are all a problem. But if I do a big bop, well, I'm just not defended. I have no defend powers. That's gross. I mean, I'm looking at 6 blight with the next ravage. 6 blight. Awesome sauce. Getting the Han anywhere close to the volcano is just a super mistake. I have to isolate 1. I have to isolate 5. Yikes. Not gotten very lucky with the events. I had a couple opportunities where I could have just taken care of, like, again, if I could have taken care of the 1 explorer and 1 at, last round because I had the Han there. If I could have taken care of the 1 explorer and 4 on Volcano's board because I had a beast there. So I just missed. And that's going to make things a lot harder for sure. I think I'd take care of 1. now, and just I can't risk it. Just be silly. So I'm just gonna push it, and I'll push it into land 2. So let's get rid of it now, isolate it, and then I'll see if I pull any defend powers for 4 and 4. I'm pretty much resigned that that's gonna Blight Cascade next turn. It just is what it is. So I'm going to have time pass. That's going to heal. I mean, that was my most pressing thing. I do not want that land to build 6 times next turn. It's absolutely sick. So I had to take care of that. These come off, and I only have, yeah, here's my 4 powers of Finder. So we are doing a lot of reclaiming. I'm going to have 1 card play next turn. That's super awesome. And by awesome, I mean not so awesome. So growth, I will do this in order. I'm going to do growth with Volcano. I'm going to reclaim my cards. Yeah. Tempted to not. I'm tempted to do growth option 3, but I just, let me get the cards back. Keep this thing. Kind of carry out my initial vision for all this. So I'm going to get 3 energy from the growth option, 2 energy from the presence track, and I have to gain a major or a minor. I think a major could really help kind of give me an idea of where I want to go. But I did just lose 2 cards, and I don't know if I have a card I want to forget just yet. So let me get a minor, and next time I gain a power, I'll be a major. Elusive ambushes, target a land with Dahan, defend 4 or 1 damage, entrap the forces of corruption. That could be helpful. It doesn't have a fire though. Renewing boon, and then sear anger into the wildlands. We have 1 wilds, or if wilds and invaders are present, 1 fear and 1 damage. I think I take the defend 4. I'll be able to move a Dahan somewhere. Let me limit the amount of blight I'm about to get, and it has the fire, which makes me happy. So that's out. This comes over here. We're going to go to, and then I'll figure out his 2 card plays in a second. All right, we're going to Finder. Finder's reclaiming cards. So just down to the 4 cards here. Put that a little more centered. We're going to get a 4 energy. So let me put this out. This 3 becomes this, and then we get the 4 energy from here. That's a pretty strong argument to get a major, but again, I had to give up 2 cards, so I'm like, what am I giving up? And then when you get a major, when you don't have any cards in your discard pile, like you're really like you're gonna have to reclaim again that much quicker. So let me get a minor. Next time I gain a card, it'll have to be a major. So we have Fire in the Sky. Really like that card. It hits my elements pretty strong too, but I have to have a Sacred Site. Not much of a Sacred Site guy with Finder. Dark Untangled Woods could be perfect. I could stay Healthy Island. That's hard to give up. Fire in the Sky gives me the fear, but Dark Untangled Woods gives me some elements that could really help me with isolates. Gold's Allure, gather 1 explorer town into a into a mountain and add a strife, and then Swarming Wasps, add a beast. If target land has beast, push up to 2 explorers. Dark Entangled Woods, and it'll be an easy card to drop, but it gives me pretty much what I want this to. Oh, does it? No, I have 1 card. I am playing 1 card. Man, so I'm isolating Squadouche. Maybe I hold on to this. None of those have an air water. Yeah, I have to isolate. I have to play an air water. So that means I'm playing that. That's not great. All right, since I'm changing that up, then let me play. Let me take Gold's Allure. I'll give you another way to start getting stuff into the mountain. That's fine. All right. Yeah, losing those power cards was not great. It's really kind of put me in a interesting spot here. So Ways of Shore and Heartland. So that does let me isolate one land. As I've said, I really need to isolate one. If I isolate 5, it has the same effect. I'm going to isolate 2 over here with Close the Ways. So now I've negated adjacencies, so there's not going to be any building in 1. Go back to here. So that's my 1 card play with Finder. I'll do this again next turn, growth option B, which will be 2 card plays, and then I can come here and either get 2 or 3 card plays in 2 turns. I could do that, +1 range. And I think I want to get the air out. I don't have a lot of air elements after having to lose those 2 cards, which is bad. I mean, at some point I'm going to need to start gaining more power cards too. I definitely want a major for sure. So Numinous Crisis is really looming large in how I'm thinking about this game. So I have to pick my card plays for Volcano. Volcano has 2 card plays. We're going to play the 1 in Flame. Nope. That's slow. Elusive Ambushes. Oh, I can't even get it. I can't get a Dahan in there. That's not going to work. Yikes. Uh-oh. I can ignore a range this turn is not exactly helpful. I will not have the 2 air. That was such a bad draw, dude. I don't know if I can negate. I don't know if I can isolate this. If it builds, it builds too. Checking the elements. Hello again, my internet stopped functioning for a bit. What has gone on with the game? Me just thinking. Howdy, everyone. There was there was some serious thinking going on right now. What happened? Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble is what happened. Woof. It's really not good. Build 4. I was gonna build 6 times, man. I can't isolate it. That's just not gonna happen. I just have to hope I get lucky. But I mean, those still go. So yeah, the isolation token is off. Hopefully, I have something I could push a town. I mean, something to help here. That does mean I'm going to do offer passage between worlds. I could do this. Let me do that. All right, never mind. Never mind. I'll do it myself. All right, going back to the original. Here we go. Think we figured out something. It's not going to be everything I hoped for, but it should work. So this is going to be isolated again because of open close the ways. So again, element check, no sun, no moon, 1 air, 2 water, 1 earth, and that gives me the first level of close the ways, which I used on land 2. I'm going to play these 2 cards for Volcano. Yeah. So Volcano is going to spend the 2 energy. 1 energy here, 1 energy here. It has 3 fire, no air, only 2 earth, which is fine. Oh, no, that's not fine. Are you for real? I never unlocked that. Yikes! I need to add... No, I have no more destroy presence to add. Yeah, never mind. That's fine. It's perfect. Perfect, I say. So this is going to go there. I can gain a power card. Totally fine. So I have the first level of explosive eruption. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do Rite of Lands Rejection. I'm going to push 3 Dahan. I'm going to use it's within 2 of where I have a sacred site. I have 5 presence there, so I have a sacred site. I'm going to push 2 Dahan, and I'm going to push them here. Blight Cascade. Blight Cascade. Yeah, Volcano's board is going to become a mess. But hopefully we can hold off Finder's board for a little bit longer. And then we have Elusive Ambushes. I can target a land 1 away from my active presence. The land has to have Dahan. And again, I could be 2 away from my active presence, so I have at least 3 presence there. And I'm going to be defending 4 in land 4, thanks to Elusive Ambushes. I have no other fast powers, so this isn't the greatest setup, but it will have to do. And then hopefully, if things go well this turn, we'll be in a really good spot to do some really cool things in the fast phase of next turn. So we have the 4th event card from the game. Bam! Relentless Optimism. Terror level 1 for the rest of this turn. Don't generate fear for destroying cities and towns. Great. Not that upset about that. Foreign diseases. In the land with the most combined invaders and Dahan, add 1 disease, 2 damage to Dahan. So minimum 1 of each. So I have no lands that have at least a 1 Dahan and 1 structure on Volcano's board. Of course, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has to go in land 3. So he put a disease, 2 damage to Dahan. This Dahan is out. Done. Offerings of Patterns and Dance. Each spirit at least 2 Dahan amongst lands gains an energy. I no longer have 2 Dahan among my lands as Finder, which is super hard to believe. I just moved those Dahan, so instead of getting an energy each, I have no energy, but obviously I'm doing okay with energy, so this is out. Fear card, let me destroy a town where a beast is. Wary of the interior, each player removes an explorer from an inland land. Well, that's not great. Not the card of dreams. So I remove this explorer. I only have 2 inland explorers, so those are both out. Again, just absolutely missing. If I was at terror level 2, I would have been able to remove this town, but that obviously didn't happen. So now we go through the invader steps. We are double building in land 5 because we have adjacencies. Not building in 8, we're double building in land 1, but first I would build in 6, and now we're building in 1. And actually, it's I've cut off those adjacencies, so we're not building in 1 at all. That's why I really wanted to isolate that land, so that worked out pretty well. We're ravaging. We're going to add a blight and a cascade out of 1. into 6. We are ravaging here. I've defended 4. The Han retaliate, 1 fear, so that's done. Nothing to ravage in 8. We're ravaging here, so blight, and we are officially blighted island. Again, just did not get lucky with anything. Strong earth shatters slowly. We get 4 blight on the card. Each player adds a blight from this land to a land adjacent to blight. We do have the Cascade already. So obviously Volcano is going to add this here, and Finder will add this here, and we have 1 blight on the card. A lot of blight on this board, kids, and it's not great. All right. Well, still healthy island. There are 2 of them. I don't think they actually make things easier. I think they actually net make things harder. So the other one is the one that adds a fear per player to the fear pool. So ravaging is done. We're now building on coast. Again, nothing to build there, and this is isolated, so I've negated adjacencies. We're taking the disease off 2. We're taking the disease off 3. Those are out. We're building a town in land 1. That's a problem. We're building a city in land 2. And we're building a town in land 3. We're going to the explore step, exploring wetlands. Woof. First and foremost, we have to build in a land that has the most cities and towns. Most cities and towns is either going to be 2 or 3 on Finder's board. Yeah, we're in serious trouble, kids. I'm gonna have a blight in every land on Volcano's board. Yeah, I needed some help from the events and the fear cards, and I just got none of it. So I'm gonna build in land 3, and now we have to build, because again there was 2 in both of those locations. I have 3 structures in 1. I have 4 structures in 2. I have 4 structures in 3. So I'll build in 3 on Volcano's board. So that gets a town. And now we explore into wetlands. There is no source to 6. I will put 1 explorer into 1. We'll put 1 explorer into 5. There is no source into 8. Invader cards advance. Note, if we were playing Terra level, England level 3, we would still have the high immigration tile. It would not come off until next turn, which is bananas. Ways of Shore and Heartland. So it's the same decision I basically had last time. I think I have to do the same thing. No. Just, yeah, it can ravage. It's fine. Ugh. Bleh. I have no cushion. I just had too much blight too quick. Again, the sands ravaged right off the bat, and we've just been dealing with extra blight from the Stella of the Island card. Inland. I'm going to move 2 invaders from 5 into 4. With Ways of Shore and Heartland, again, inland land to inland land. That will do. All right, well, we'll have 1 exciting turn at least. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it'll be a story. It'll be a story to tell your kids. All right, we don't add a presence. I can spend 2 to gain a power card. Don't. Oh, crap. I don't have an heir. That's really bad. I don't have an heir. We will spend 2 to bet a power card because I need an heir. Awesome. I need an air fire combo for sure. So spending the 3, getting 1 back. Give me air fire combo, please. That is not an air fire combo. That is not an air fire combo. That's an air. It's not an air fire combo, but I can probably make that work. And I need the air. So hopefully we'll see if this works. So this goes over here. No more slow powers. We're going to go to growth. I'm going to add 2 presence as Volcano. So that's up to 7. No, I can't make that work. Oh, that's so bad. Did I forget a card that had air? Oh, I did. Pyroclastic Bombardment, but it's so expensive. Shoot. I'm in trouble. Let me do growth option 3. Oh, but then I only have 6 there. Oh, it's garbage. Yeah, it's not going to work. I need the 7 there, but I need the air. I need the air. Maybe I will get Elemental Boon with Finder. Well, desperation play, kids. So that was my growth option with Volcano. Volcano's going to get 2 energy, has 4 energy total to play with. We'll deal with all the elements next. I'm going to have to gain a power card as Finder. I'm going to take this off. Ah, shoot, I only have 1 card play then. Woof. This is all sorts of not good. I will... I need to find a way to get Volcano and air. So I have the presence, I just don't have the kicker to do 4 damage within every land. That's not good. We get a major as a finder. Paralyzing Fright could be good. Cast down the briny deep. Remember, I'm getting 4 energy here, and that's a slow power. I only have 1 card play this turn. And Strangling Firevine. Yeah, I never should have got rid of Pyroclastic Bombardment. But I wouldn't have had the money to do anything else. I mean, if I forgot, what haven't I played yet? And if I forgot, if I didn't just gain a power card here, if I forgot Exaltation of Molten Stone instead of Pyroclastic Bombardment, I mean, just for the sheer intrigue of it, then I have the Shore Seeds, and I wouldn't have had to buy a card. These would be the next power cards. So I'd have 2 more energy because I didn't buy a card, because I never would have done that if I didn't desperately try to find the fire-air combo. I mean, I'll do that just to play it out, but yeah, I mean, obviously, super asterisk. I think I get cast down to the briny deep as Finder. It's just going to really help guide my my path here. So I'm going to get rid of that. Waves of Shore and Heartland. Cast Down the Briny Deep goes here. These are out. So I forgot a power. I need to, I can only have one card play, and I can put this presence on the board, and I can move a presence. I want to move a presence from here because that's about to get all sorts of gnarly. I'm going to move, and I could place a presence 2 away from where I have presence. All these Dahan are Toast my ghost. All right, I'm gonna put a presence here, and I will put. Maybe I get Paralyzing Fright. I have to get Paralyzing Fright. It's a smarter play. Paralyzing Fright for the win because I have to play it this turn. So I'll put I'll make a presence there, and then I'll move this presence into 2 from 3. So I added the presence from growth into 1. I gained the power card. I gained Paralyzing Fright. I will have multiple card plays next turn. I'm just putting the 4 right there. All right, so 1 away from my. Oh, I have to play the cards for Volcano. So I'll play Pyroclastic Bombardment. I'll play the Shore Seas with Hatred, and I will play Lava Flows. That's going to give me 4-4-2-4. Again, I'm definitely just kind of showing the big bop, but I would have had to really not drop this card. That's when you're looking at doing what I'm doing, you're trying to get a big bop with 6 in the 4 step, you can't forget that card. So again, it's another thing with the events that's really made this hard. Numinous Crisis is like really hard card because there's no good options, right? I put 2 more blood in the Blight card, but like I had to really accelerate my transition to reclaiming. I gave up a card that had the elements I needed, so I just I would have had to give up another card. And I know this was a fast power, so it would have definitely been in play, and I would have just got rid of that on the same turn, so that's fine. So this is 3, 1, 1. Again, all 3 of those cards have a fire and an earth each. I have the 1 air there, and I unearthed 1 air on my track. So I have the 3rd level of Explosive Eruption. I have the first 3 levels of Powered by the Furnace of Earth. I have no thresholds here. We are just trying to desperation move. If this blights, it's gonna be really bad because it's gonna blight. Like I have nowhere to go with blight over here on Volcano's board, so we're just kind of stuck. So I'm gonna play Paralyzing Fright. I'm gonna get 4 fear. We have 3 fear left in the fear pool, and we're going to say skipping all actions in land number 1. Fantastic. I'm going to do Pyroclastic Bombardment. 2 away from where I have a Sacred Site. I can make it 3. I think the best place for this is going to be in land 4. Start doing some math. Who said there'd be math? 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Math is tough, kids. I'm going to do Pyroclastic Bombardment. It's ravaging everywhere. Well, 2's a little worse. Sure, I'm going to do 1 damage to each structure here. So 2 health left in the city, 2 health left here, 1, 1. And reminder, so this is a Sacred Site. I'll just put that adjoining for Finder. And because the Badlands is there, first time I did damage in the land, I could add 1 more damage. So I could do it on either instance of damage. I'll just make the city have, one of the cities has 1 health. So 2 health for the city, 1 health on the city, and then both the towns have 1 health each. Now we're going to do Explosive Eruption. So I have 7 presents here. I'm going to take off 6. And that is enough because of the elements to trigger the 3rd level. I'm going to do first, that's what's going to trigger is collapse in the blast of lava and steam. That's going to do 7 damage in land 1 or land 3. So 1, 2, 3. So 7 damage. It's 6 damage. I destroyed 6 presence, but this action is going to trigger Badlands again, so it becomes 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 damage. I'll just injure this town. That is going to be 4 fear. That's a remainder of 1 with the fear card. Now we're going to carry this out. In 1 land within range 1, I can do X damage. How much damage? Well, 6 damage because I did. I destroyed 6 presence. So I'm going to do it over here. So 1, 2, 3 in the sands over here because that's coastal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll injure that town. So that's 3 more fear because those guys are dead. Again, there were no Badlands there, so nothing triggered off of that. Now the second level, since I had 3, 3 and destroyed at least 4, I get to do X damage. X is equal to how many presence I destroyed. I destroyed 6, so 6 more fear. So a remainder of 2, a second fear card. Oops, knocking the third camera around like I just don't care. All right, that goes there. And now the third level, in each land within range 1, I do 4 damage. I'm also going to add a blight to target land, but that will not destroy my presence. If it did, I would lose the game. So that is going to mean that we're going to go Blighted Island, but that's going to be the last thing that happens. So let me just do this in order. So I am doing 4 damage to everything. So this is going to become 5 damage because, again, Collapse in a Blast of Lava and Steam is a special rule. So it's not part, it's like a nesting action. So that's like a separate action. So now this action is the first time this action is doing damage in this land. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 damage there because it's 4 damage everywhere within range 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to be 5 because of the Badlands. That's 3 more fear. I'm doing 4 damage in land 2, 5 because of the Badlands. So, oh wait, never mind. Yep, 5 because of the. Right, I did Pyroclastic Bombardment there. So 5 because of the Badlands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 more fear. So 3 down, remainder of 3. Terror level 2. I'm hitting the camera again. Bam and bam. We're going to go to land 4. I'm going to do 4 damage. So I'm going to knock out the city and injure. Nope. I'm going to knock out the 2 towns because I do not want it to build a city there because that would add a blight. That's 2 more fear. And then I'm going to do 4 damage in land 3. That's going to wipe out this town and all 3 of these explorers. That's 1 more fear. Now I'm adding a. There's. Oh, in each land within 1. Right. This power does damage to Dahan, so I have to wipe out this Dahan. I have to wipe out these 2 Dahan, and I have to wipe out this Dahan. Sorry, Dahan. You all fought valiantly. All right, so all the Dahan are gone. Everything's done except for I have to add a blight to the target land. It does not destroy my presence, but it does mean that we are officially Blighted Island. And we have unintended land crumbles. It's going to have 8 crumbles, if I did not enunciate that well. So we're going to have 8 more blight on here. On each phase, there's a blight to a land adjacent to blight. Spirits may prevent this on any all boards to be protected by jointly paying 3 energy or destroying 1 presence from that board. Oh, that's not great for Volcano, but hopefully we can try to make that work. And now that is everything from Explosive Eruption. Went Blighted Island is what it is. There is a blight on every single land on that board, which is rough. Go for the threshold and cast down into the money deep. Laugh out loud. Which major did you take? Oh, paralyzing fright. Now that's a lot of damage. Big bopper. Yeah, it's not enough though, dude. We're. I mean, I really need these fear cards to just be absolutely amazing, and unfortunately, they have not been yet. And I'm not doing anything with Finder this turn. Again, it was all setting up Volcano to do some Volcano things, and we will see what happens now. Why is that wild still there? when we explored, I don't remember when I added that wild. Must have been after they explored. It must have been last turn. Yeah, sure. Seas would hit. It was they explored there, and then I played it, and then I reclaimed cards, and I played the reclaim cards, and yeah, I think that's right. I think I would have seen that wilds right in front of my face. All right, event card. So that each invader phase thing, that's going to trigger next turn. It does not trigger. Oh, does it trigger this turn? Huh. Each invader phase. Well, I guess it triggers this turn. That's not good. I'm going to protect. I'm going to protect Volcano's board by destroying a presence in 2. And I'm going to protect this board, Finder's board, by playing 3. Woof. Yeah, I think it has to be this turn. That's crazy. It would say next turn if it started next turn. Like all things weaken. All right. Resourceful populace. Oh, dear. It might not. No, we're in terror level 2. All right. Towns each do +1 damage when ravaging. After a ravage action adds a blight, remove 1 explorer and 1 town from the ravaged land because we are stripping the land bare. Might matter, might not. I'm not sure. Virulence among close-packed homes. Add a disease on each board to the inland land with the most cities and towns. Minimum 1 does not exist on Finder's board. We're putting this in land 4 on Volcano's board. Offerings of story in season. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among its lands gains 1 energy. Well, Volcano just killed a lot of our Dahan, so I don't think that's going to work. And now we have our 3 fear cards. So I'll put this here. Reminder that's in play. 1. Trade suffers. Each player may replace a town with an explorer in a coastal land. That goes off. And with an explorer. Terra level 3 would have been nice. So that will go here. And again, reminder, whenever I earn multiple fear cards, I always put the new one underneath the old ones. Isolation. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with 2 or fewer invaders. Well, that's good. This cannot be connected anymore. I can connect these 2. Remember with open the ways. Let's remove that, and I will remove. That's still gonna double build there. God, so garbage. I'll remove this. There's only 1 thing left there, which is nice. All right, so that worked. And the next fear card. Tread carefully. Each player may choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to at least 3 Dahan. Invaders are not ravaged there this turn. Well, that's nice. So we're not going to ravage in land 2 this turn on Finder's board, and we're not going to ravage. It doesn't matter on Volcano's board. This comes here. So we go to the invader steps. We are building here, but we're not because paralyzing fright. So that was a good card to pick up. We're taking the disease off land 4. We're not building here, nothing there, and not adjacent to 2 structures. We're not building here, nothing there, and not adjacent to 2 structures. We're ravaging, nothing to ravage in 1. We are adding a blight to 2. After adding a blight, remove a town and an explorer from that land. So we'll remove this explorer, and that's fine. We're skipping all actions in 1, not enough to do damage in 2 or 3. Again, towns do +1 damage, explorers do not. So we just added the 1 blight and managed to survive for another turn. Oh, wait, never mind. Put the explorer back, put the blight back. We're not ravaging in that because of tread carefully. That's why I put these reminder tokens out. Because I'm like, why is that there? Oh, that's right. So this can come off. We're now building, not adjacent to 2 structures, no adjacencies there, nothing there. We are building a town and a city in land 5 over here. explore step, mountains. We have the stage 2 escalation. We're going to build in land 2. We have to build in land 1 or 5 on Volcano's board. I'm going to build in land 1. If I build in 5, I'd have to build 2 structures instead of 1 because it's a wetlands. And now we explore. We're going to get 2 explorers into 7, 2 explorers into 3, no source for 7 on Finder's board, and then 2 explorers into 2. So we have like it looks like a Russia game with woof, a whole lot of explorers chilling over there. So now if we were playing stage 3, we would lose the high immigration tile. But I will stay at stage 4. I've already cheated enough. So I'm going to add a destroyed presence. So we're back to 2 presence, trying to constitute a new stack for Volcano. I'm not going to do anything else over here. I don't have the money to pay for a power card, etc., etc., etc. I don't have the extra reach because I don't have three presence there. Oh man. So we have to figure out how you want to do this. I'm going to do lava. Yeah, we'll do lava flows. I'm going to add a Badlands and a Wilds to 4. And then the shore seethes with hatred. I'm going to get a Fear and then get a Badlands and a Wilds into land 2. I don't really have a good place to go with that. I could do it in land 3. That's still coastal. I like that. So Finder's board's almost clean. Remember, the stage 2 escalation for England would not have triggered had I gotten rid of all the structures there. So I was literally that 1 city away from not having to worry about building another one. And now that there's 2 there, remember, we have adjacencies. So this would build, this would build. I mean, so I have to try to address all of that. So I did lava flows. I did the shore seas with hatred, paralyzing fright, save the day temporarily. We shall see what happens next. I'm going to be spending a lot of Finder's money now, though, to prevent the unintended land crumbling, and that's a big problemo. So let's go to the next step. Imagine you got the 1 presence, the 1 destroy, 3 presence. Yeah. Hi Greg, thanks for another awesome Spirit Island playthrough. Need some good majors maybe. It's fun watching you play. I forgot how to win when all help is lost. Gabrielle, thanks Jester. Gabrielle Myers. Oh, by the way, I started learning Arkham Horror 2nd edition. Woof, yeah, all help was lost like 45 minutes into that one, man. I was like, all right, this is done. I'm like, I'm over. I'm going to put this away and I will learn it with my friends, but at least I have the rules down. I have a couple of friends that are excited to try it. I think you knocked the Dahan on land 2 on Finder's board into the jungle. That seems right, yeah, because everything else would have been destroyed by the big bopper for sure. Yeah, good catch, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a really astute observation. This is Looney Tunes. I mean, again, I'm stuck in this awful situation where losing those 2 cards was so bad because now I don't want to reclaim yet, and I don't know if I have much of a choice. I mean, I need to get more presence out, and it's just super broken. It's not worth on that. I mean, I could add this. Oh, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's bad. It's very bad. And now it's gonna build twice. Yeah, I mean, realistically, getting fear at this point won't be the hardest thing, but I still have 33 fear to get through if I want to get to Terra level 3. There's no way I'm doing a Terra level 2 victory. At least no way that I see. Finder's got a bunch of cards. There's no reclaim any one element. All right, let me get extra card plays out. 3 card plays is too much. I don't know what I want to do with either of these guys. I mean, part of me is like, if I jump back into that mountain, do I try to get into the mountain on board B? If I had more range, I could have thrown. If I had 3 there instead of 2, I could have thrown both my freaking both those badlands in there. That would have been super nice. This is about to build a city. Remember, if that builds a city, we have to add a blight, so I have to prevent that. That's high priority. And I have to prevent that ravaging. I have not played Golds of Lore yet. I don't have any defend. I don't know what to do. This is not good. Huh. That's helpful. Alright, I gain a power card, just get the extra card play, or both. We'll do both. I'm going to gain a power card. It'll give me 3 power cards for next turn. I'm going to have 4 energy from the presence track, because I'm going to take from down here, so it gives me 2 card plays instead of 3. It gives me 2 card plays instead of 1. And I'm going to put this... Well, I won't put that on the board yet. Let me gain my card first. Tempted to take a major. Sure. Majors. Entwined power. Let me come back to these. The 3 camera view. So spill bitterness into the earth. 6 damage. Add 2 badlands and a strife. 1 blight. And if the 3 additional lines of blight, add a badlands and a strife. Ooh. That's crazy. And it's going to be super costly. Vanish softly away, forgotten by all. Entwined power. I mean, it takes care of all my adjacency problems in 2, that's for sure. And it would take care of the escalation issue too, I think. Dissolve the bonds of kinship. If I... Six damage. Man, I have to lose so much presence. I think I'm gonna have to do it. Let's do it. So I'm gonna put a presence there. I'm gonna take Still Bitterness, and I'm gonna drop something. I don't think Gold Allure was meant to be. Right? I can move a presence. Maybe I'll keep Gold Allure. I don't have those though. I'm moving that presence with that ability. Again, I have 2 card plays. So the question is, what the heck am I playing, and what am I going to throw away? I think I do that. Yeah, Gold's Allure. Good in theory, just never really worked out. That's going to cost me 7. And that leaves me with 1, which is important. We're going to do an element check. I have 2 sun. We have no moons. We have 2 air, because I got the 1 on the track now. And the 1 on the one of the cards. 2 water. No earth. And no plant. So I have 1 isolate power unlocked. And I have this push 1 invader power unlocked from a land where I have presence. All right, for each, so range 1, I'm going to target land 5. For each Dahan there, I can move 1 invader to a land within 2 that has Dahan. Oh, I have to have Dahan. Great. I'm going to do this. I'm going to connect this land and this land with Open the Ways. I'm going to do lay pass, I can up a walk, and I'm going to push a Dahan into there. Now that there's Dahan there, I'm going to do Aid from Lesser Spirits. I'm going to push these 2 suckers into here, because they are considered, that's 1 away from that. And I can move it to within 2 of that to a land that has Dahan, and I move the Dahan from there to there with late pass, I can hop out walk. That's an unusual use of that, but it obviously was desperate times, you know, to do some things. I have this isolate power. I've done Aid from Lesser Spirits. I should probably figure out what I'm doing with Volcano before I continue with the rest of the fast powers for Finder. I think I reclaim cards. Reflame the Fires of Life just isn't gonna do the trick. So I'm gonna get 3 energy from the growth option, 2 energy from the presence track. I have 3 card plays. I'm reclaiming all my cards. Move Finder's cards up here, make some room, and we'll figure out what we want to do. Can I prevent some builds? I mean, if this builds a town, like honestly, I'm trying to win in the fast power phase next turn. Like it just is what it is. So I'm going to get myself I don't have a single major power yet with Volcano, which is absolutely bananas. So I'm going to get a major power. I'll definitely have a card to drop. So Pent Up Calamity. Ooh, that could be super nice. Terrifying Nightmares. Get to push some stuff. Accelerated Rot. And Voices of Command. Also interesting, not as helpful. I do love myself some Pent Up Calamity, especially if I have range 3. So I'm going to lose Inflame the Fires of Life and take Pent Up Calamity. That will be a very nice power for next turn. This turn, what's at risk of blighting? Magically nothing. So I want to play 3 cards. Pyroclastic Bombardment has a range of 2. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's also a fast power. This is gonna build. That's probably gonna build. Um, I'm gonna isolate 3 with Open the Ways. Remember, I have the 1. I have the 2 air and the 2 water. So that's fine. I really needed to think through Finder's Turn and kind of work backwards to Volcano, obviously. Ah, shoot. I can deal with that. Don't have a Badlands there. Can't prevent building. All right, we're just gonna get a bunch of Badlands out, I think. So we're playing the Shore Seas with Hatred, Right of Lands Rejection, and Lava Flows. Should leave me in a fairly strong spot for next turn. Maybe I can eke out a win in the fast power phase. So this is gonna cost me 3. 1, 2, and 3. Checking the chat. I'm doing an Arkham Sunday night mission each week. You can watch, see how I play it, or come up with me sometimes and I can teach you. That'd be awesome. Panda Calamity always seems very strong. I'm hopeful, man. I'm hopeful. Invader's not build. All right, let me do Finders first. Finder first. Hmm. I'm gonna do Pyroclastic Bombardment. It's a lot more expensive. I mean, element check, it's 4/4, 2/4. I am not doing. I only have 2 presents there, so I'm not going to be doing anything with that this turn. Next turn looks better. But yeah, I think I'm going to need Pyroclastic Bombardment to do what I want to do here. Okay. So spill bitterness into the earth. I'm doing 6 damage. I'm wiping out. I'm going to do 1 damage. Oh, this is even better. I'm going to do 1 damage to this town. I'm going to do 2 damage to the city. And then I'm wiping out 4 explorers. Oh, that's still going to trigger that. But yeah, it's still the way I want to do that. Nope. I'm going to wipe out 5 explorers. And I'm going to do 1 damage to the city. Yeah, so I'm killing 5 explorers and 1 damage to the town. All these explorers are out. Can I wipe out? Nope. I'm going to wipe out all 6 explorers. This is nuts. All right. After one of my actions defeated one or more invaders or Dahan, I directly trigger the destruction. I destroy one of my presents. I'm going to destroy this presence, and I'm going to lose an energy. So now I'm broke. So Finder lost their first presence because of responsibilities to the dead. Now I go ahead and I add 2 Badlands. We're going to add a Strife. I think the order of operations works that way. Like, I might have had to take a presence from somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure because I do that, I trigger that, so it's like a nesting action. But if someone has a better idea, let me know. So then I add I add 2 Badlands or a Strife. I'm going to add the 2 Badlands. And I'm going to add a Blight. So it's good I did not add a Blight there last turn. And then up to 3 adjacent lands with Blight, I'm going to add a Badlands or a Strife. I'm going to obviously add bunches of Badlands because I like them. So Badlands, Badlands, and Badlands. That is done. Now we go to Volcano. Volcano is going to do Pyroclastic Bombardment, range 2 away from where they have a sacred site, so that is within range. It's going to do 1 damage to each town or city. It's going to apply +2 damage now because we have 2 Badlands there, so it kills the city. So that's 2 fear, 1 remainder, fear card, and then 1 more damage wipes out the town. 1 more fear. Now this, I need to find a new connection point for Open the Ways, but I was able to wipe out everything on Finder's board completely clean, which is nice. Very nice. This is going to go here. So we do have the first 3 levels of Powered by the Furnace of the Earth. This is still going to build unless I get an Isolate power, but ultimately it's really close. You know what? Let me isolate here instead with this, because if this gets a town and a city, there's 2 Badlands there. It's going to be a lot easier to wipe that sucker out than here, which has no Badlands. So we have a city here, city here, city here. We'll probably have 1 more city by the time things are done building. Maybe 2 more cities. So it's going to be tight, but I think we might have the math on our side. We're going to have a very small window to win this in the fast power phase next turn. I should put a reminder here. This is the second turn now with Unintended Line Crumbles. I have to either add a Blight or destroy a presence. I'm going to add a Blight onto Finder's board adjacent to where there already is Blight. It's fine. And then obviously I would cause a really bad thing to happen on Volcano's board. So I'm just going to destroy 1 of Finder's presence, which is on that board. And now Finder is only has 3 presents left on the island. Excellent. We're going to go to, I have a comment. Don't you need to destroy presence later because of the Blight card? I could. Yeah, or so I can destroy presence or I can spend 3 energy. So I destroyed a presence for sure. So I don't know. I mean, Swider, if I missed something on that, let me know. I destroyed the 1 presence because this Blight was added. And then I destroyed... No, I destroyed the 1 presence because of responsibilities to the dead. Then I added the Blight, and now I destroyed another... I added the Blight on Finder's board and destroyed a presence on Volcano's board. Whew! All right, event card. Here we go. Don't do it to me. All right, stage 2. Invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging. That's not good. Weaseling, so we're going to put a reminder on that before I forget. Yeah, that could be very bad in land 5. Weaseling Outbreak on each board, add a disease to a jungle or wetlands with the most cities or towns. So I'm going to add this to... Oh, that's beautiful. I added the 1 there. That would have been super bad. And there are no structures at all on Finder's board. 10 to land. On each board, remove 1 Blight from a land with 2 Dahan. I will absolutely remove that from 5 before I get crushed by that, because now they're doing 2 damage there instead of 1. And again, that is invaders total, so it's not like towns. It's literally if the invaders are ravaging, they're ravaging +1 now. We have 1 fear card. We are a total of Oh, we're a lot away. I mean, I'm 30 fear away from Terra level 3, so I just don't see how this comes together. Explorers are reluctant. Skip the next normal explore. During the next invader phase, draw an additional explore card. So that's super nice. I think I had the build card in my other game. So I'm going to put a reminder token there and a reminder token there. So again, it's a stage 2 card. It would have the escalation of extra building, so now I don't have to worry about that, which is really nice. So coastal lands are building. This sucker is adjacent to 2. You know what I could have done? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to isolate that. I should have isolated here. That would have taken care of my problem, both here and here. That's what I'm going to do. So nothing to build there, nothing to build there, only adjacent to one structure here. So when I did open the ways, I obviously doing it in a 7 made no sense. I should have absolutely done it here. Again, England, you want to basically isolate the land that has the structures. Taking the disease off on Volcano's board on land 1. I'm building a town in land 2. And I am building a town. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm building a town in land 3. We now go to the ravage action. It is ravaging 2 here, so the blight I took off is going back. That kills a Dahan. The one surviving Dahan retaliates and wipes him out. There's nothing to ravage in any other wetlands. We're now building in mountains. No adjacencies. Again, I moved that over there. No adjacencies. We're building a town over here in land 7. And we're building a city in land 3. And we're skipping the next normal explore. We're going to draw 2 cards next turn. So I'll leave those reminders there. Invader guards still advance. And this can come out. I remembered that. And here we go. Oh boy. All right. The shore seethes with hatred. I'm going to get a... I only have 2 presents there, so I don't have 1 plus 1 to my range. So I get a fear. I'm going to add a badlands and a wilds to land number 3. Lava flows. I'm going to add... Woof. I have 4 cities left. I had that card last turn where like invaders last game invaders did not heal, and it was so freaking awesome. Let me make sure I remember to add. Oh, I will have range 3. Ooh, so I could add a presence because of power by the furnace of earth. I do not have 2 energy to buy a power card, so now I can get range 2 and do 1 damage. My problem. I have many problems. I will I'll do 1 damage here to destroy this town because there's a badlands there. That's again the badlands from setup. That gives me a fear. So 28 fear away. These go out. 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 Going to growth. Okay, you do not. No, I thought it was a different effect. All right, very cool. I don't know what's happening. Help. All right, Volcano. He loves presents. He's going to put a lot of presents here. So he's up to 5, which is going to help with the fear. He's going to get 3 energy. Oh, I need the 5. Oh, I don't have a 0 cost card. Oh, that's... Oh. Shoot. I'm only playing 2 cards. I don't know how I'm going to get this city, and well, I can get this city. This city is going to be my problem. Although... I might be able to do some shenanigans with Finder. So, I mean, it's... Oh. Yeah, Finder's going to be up to some stuff. So we're playing these 2 cards. That cost me all my money. Every dollar counts, kids. Oh, that's really good. All right. We are playing Pent-Up Calamity and Right of Lands Rejection. I have... well, Moon's going to matter for this trigger. Again, all the major powers have a trigger. It is going to give me... I have 2 Moon. I have 3 Fire. I have 4 Earth. And I have 1 Air. It gives me the 3rd level of Explosive Eruption. It also gives me the 1st and 2nd level of Power by the Furnace of Earth. We're coming over here to Finder. I'm tempted to... the Spill Bitterness isn't going to work, because then I would be Blight. I would lose presence. It's a super bad idea. Although Paralyzing Fright is tempting, but I also have 0 money. Woof. So, what I'm going to do is add a presence to any land. I'm going to add a presence to here. Oh, I need a moon. I need a moon. Super bad. I have 3 card plays. I'm going to get a major and hope it's a major with a moon. Pillar of Living Flame. Wait, how much money am I going to get? Yeah. 5 or less with a moon. Oh, unlocked up gates to deepest power. All the elements. Dream of Untouched Land is glorious. Volcanic Eruption. All right. Dream of Untouched Land is amazing, but not quite going to work because I need to make a lot of fear. So unlock the gates of deepest power. And then these 2 cards. Remember, I got 3 card plays because I opened up both of those on the bottom track. I had to forget a power, Spill Bitterness. Thank you for your service, but it's time to move on. So I'm going to get 4 energy from the presence track. I get 2 energy from the growth track. So this, I have all the elements, which is super clutch. So I have 3 sun, 4 sun, lots of sun, so much sun. It's very sunny. All right, 2 moon, 1, 2, 3, 4 air. We have 1, 2 water. We have 2 earth, and we have 2 plant. Do I also have the other elements, just out of curiosity? I do not have 2 animal. Otherwise, I could do some really ridiculous things. And I also don't have 2 fire, so I was actually 2 away. All right, I can move a presence. And I will move a presence onto this board, so I can, if I get to the invader phase again, then we can deal with it then. But ultimately, the more important things for me is I have the 1st and 2nd level of lay past I cannot help but walk. I also have all 3 levels of close the ways. So I'm going to push up to, again, I'm going to make these 2 things adjacent with some magical finder stuff. And I'm going to push half invaders rounded down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 invaders. I'm pushing all the structures into here. I also get to push one more thing. I can push a presence or an animal. I'm going to just push that. Again, that has to happen in the same land. Fantastic. I'm going to now, what's ravaging? Yeah, offer passage isn't going to do much for me. I'll just move this into one of my lands. It's fine. And target spirit can get a minor power, a major power. I will target myself with that. So I look at 2, I keep 1 without discarding a power. Oh, Rapid Wings of Sunlight. Where you been my whole life? That's nice. We'll put that up here. Again, you don't have to forget another power because unlock the gates. So don't think I'm gonna have enough fear. But it's gonna be close. So remove any number of beast, disease, strife, or wilds. For each token removed, 1 fear and 3 damage. And then if you remove tokens, return up to 2 of them. Otherwise, I add 2 strife. I do have that kicker, so I will just return them. So I'm removing these 2. Now notice Badlands is not part of this because it would be difficult with the math of that. So I'm removing 2. So I'm going to get 6 damage total, 7 because of the Badlands, and 1 fear for each I remove on top of that. So 2 fear, 7 damage wipes out this, and I'll injure one of the towns. That's 4 more fear. That gives me a remainder of 2 and a fear card. I return them. Great. Right of Lands Rejection, I'm ultimately using it just to get a fear because there's 1 Dahan there. Again, it's 1 Dahan or structures, whatever is less. I couldn't get more than 1 Dahan on there, so it is what it is. But that's done. Now I'm going to do Explosive Eruption. I'm destroying 4 presence here. And since I destroyed 4 presence, that's going to give me 6 damage in this land. So I'm going to destroy, because I have 2 Badlands there. So I'm going to destroy both those cities. That is 4 fear. So I have 1 left in our fear pool. And now I can generate in an adjacent, so that was because of collapsing a blast of lava and steam. And now I'm going to, within range 1, I'm going to do 4 damage over here. So I wipe out everything here, but also kills my poor little Dahan. He's like, what the heck, guys? So that's 2 more fear, because there were 2 towns there. So that's a fear card. And I generate 4 fear because I destroyed 4 presence. So we're 3 fear away from the next fear card. And I think we're just SOL. I can isolate a bunch of stuff. That presence is in super danger. I mean, I'll isolate here. Isolate. I have 3 isolation possibilities. I'll isolate here. I mean, it's nothing else is building, right? This is crazy. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll isolate here because I can. Now I'll isolate 2. Why not? So I think we're just gonna be 11 fear short. Don't see another way to make this close. We only have 1 here, so if they ravage here, that is game over. But we will, oh yeah, there's not even great ravage cards. Not even great ravage cards. I mean, I could in theory, if I don't move that Dahan, where was this Dahan? This Dahan was here. If I don't move that Dahan, if I really think through this turn, I could play elusive ambushes. So that's one less fear, and then I could defend 4, which probably makes some sense. So they're ravaging 7, but hopefully you get some help with the event cards or the fear cards. So I will do that instead of working out all the math the other way. That's a problem. That's a blight cascade. Yeah, I mean we have a bunch of blight on the card, but yeah, that's not great. So Invader phase, I have to destroy a presence on this board. I'll destroy one of Finder, so Finder has 2 presents left on the island, and then we will can't blight there anyway, so I'll just add a blight up here. So 5 blight left on the blighted island card. We go to the event card. Years of Little Rain. For each board, discard the top minor power, so we can let the plants die and the land wither, or we can act to ease the drought. The act to ease the drought is going to be 4 energy per player, aided by water. I have 1, 2, 3 waters in place, so it would cost 5 more. I can forget a card with a water. I will forget unlock the gates. And then I can pay an energy. I can discard a card with a water. Do you have a card with a water over here? Yeah, he'll just forget the Shore Seeds, and I'll hold on to my energy. All right, so we did that. So we get, we can add 1 presence to each of our lands with the Han. I will add, I don't have any lands with the Han as Finder. Ironically, because I changed that around, I do have a land with the Han as Volcano. So he's going to add a presence. So now, if we blight there, we would actually still survive because we have a second thing there. So that's pretty sick. Each beast deals 2 damage. Remove any beast token that destroys cities or towns. And during Ravage, in every land, defend 1 per Dahan. So actually, I'm now defended 5 here. But they're still ravaging 7. And that Dahan will not survive if there's at least even 1 damage goes through because we have the Badlands. So Years of Little Rain is out. We have 2 fear cards. I'm going to put Explorers Are Reluctant over here as a reminder that's still in play. Spreading Timidity. Each player chooses a different land to isolate. Also defend 2 in those lands. Well, we're going to double isolate this land. So now we're defended 2 more. So we're defended 7. I get a D20 out. So that's super magical. And I'm going to choose another land to isolate. I'm going to isolate this land. Again, it doesn't have to be on each different board, but we're defended 2 there. So we're actually looking good to survive another round somehow. We're going to do this fear card now. Panicked by Wild Beasts. Each player adds a strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. Invaders skip their normal, explore, and build actions in lands. Oh, by the way, this Dahan, point of clarification, this Dahan would have died when I did the explosive eruption. But what I could have done is set the defend 4 in place and then destroyed him with the explosive eruption. I'm not sure if someone put that in the comments yet. So that Dahan is definitely not there, which means I only have defend 6 because the 1 was like defend 1 per Dahan, right? Yeah. So sorry about that. That hopefully made sense. So we're only defended 6. They're ravaging 7. So that's perfect anyway. So now we're going to add a strife in a land with or adjacent to a beast. I will, doesn't really help me. I removed that presence. So we have a strife here. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. I can add a strife here, but they're just anywhere they're about to ravage, so all the strife's going to go away. So invaders skip their normal explore and build in lands with beasts. Well, that's helpful to know. So I'll put this here, and skipping normal explore and builds in lands with beasts. We now go to the invader steps. So we're building in wetlands, not building anywhere. We're ravaging in mountains. We're defended 2 here because of the fear card, and we're defended, so I should have put a die there. So we were defended 2 here, I'll take that off. We're defended 6 here, they're ravaging 7, I'll take that off. Amazing. The strifes are going to go away, so I don't even know why I bothered putting that out. And now we're going to go to the build step. There is no build step. Remember, they skipped the Explorer. They're exploring twice this turn. So we're going to do 2 Explorer cards. The first Explorer card is going to have the escalation. It's going to make us build in sands. There's no beast there, so it will build a city. Of course it will. That's not adjacent to 2. That's not adjacent to 2, or is it? So it will build there. It's going to build a town. That's not adjacent to 2. Now we're going to carry out the rest of the exploration. We get a wilds comes off here. Nothing adjacent to anything to explore there. Wilds comes off here. Not adjacent to any structures there. So that was the first thing. And again, none of those had a beast, so that didn't matter. And now we get our first stage 3 card. We're pulling this. We're exploring into jungles and wetlands. So we'll do the jungles first. No beast here. We get an explorer here. There's a beast there, so we skip that. No beast here, so we get an explorer here. No adjacencies here. Now wetlands, there's always a source for the coast. Nothing happening here. This land is isolated, and nothing happening here. Invader cards advance, that comes off. There is no ravage next turn, but there is a double build, so now we really need to get it done this turn. So these tokens are going to come off. I'm going to move up to 2 invaders to a land within 2 that has the same terrain. Sure, paths are tied by nature. I'll just move these suckers over here because there are 2 things over there and not just 1. So paths tied by nature is done. I'm going to add a presence from my destroyed presence. So now we have 3 presents here. Oh, you know what? Because there wasn't a Dahan there, Years of Little Rain would not have added a presence for Volcano. So he only has 2 there. We got it all worked out. All right, these come out. This comes out. I don't know why I remember things like 20 minutes late as much as I do. It would be nice just to not make mistakes as you're playing it, but you know. It is what it is. All right, these fear cards are done. Fear cards have been super helpful. I still need 12 fear. All right, let's do this. I'm going to reclaim cards as Finder because we want Paralyzing Fright. We're going to get 4 energy from the presence track. This is going to be 4 fear for me, and potentially we can get up to 8. I'm going to gain a power card. I want a miner, and I want a miner that has an earth. Yes, I want a miner with an earth because that would be 8 fear. Sorry, I didn't take the card cam off. I should have last turn. Give me an earth. Yes! Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Gift of Constancy right off the bat. Carapace Clan also has an earth. Gift of Constancy is a little bit better, I think, because it has the sun as well. Earth. I don't need the sun. So, Carapace Land. It is what it is. That's great. I can isolate a couple of things and defend a billion. Excellent. So that is a great turn for Finder. Again, 3 card plays because of that. We can still move a presence. So I need to, I'm going to make these 2 lands adjacent because I need a sacred site. Oh, I actually don't. I still have 3 presents. I'm going to just move this sucker here with this. And that's going to give me the sacred site I need for Paralyzing Fright. Fantastic. I like 8 fear. That's helpful. We're going to go to Volcano. What's Volcano doing? Volcano is like, well, I need to kill that man right there. He's a bad man. And Volcano does sound really strange. I agree. Oh, man. I think we have to reclaim and get me a bunch of energy. Well, I only have 2 on there, though. Woof. 1 damage. I can do 3. Yeah, I think I can work this up. So I'm going to reclaim cards, get all these suckers back in here. I'm going to get 3 energy from the presence track and 3 energy from the growth option. I get minor powers because I know what majors I want to play. Elemental boon. I don't think I have the money for any of this. Blood draws predators is exciting. I only have 2 energy there. Oh yeah, I should be able to do this pretty easy. So I'm going to do Blood Draws Predators just in case. I have 3 card plays, Pen of Calamity, and I can't even afford Blood Draws Predators, so I lied. Does any of these cost 0? Animated Recruit does. Excellent. So I have the kicker on this now, which is great. So this is 3 and 3. So I just need to kill that city and get 12 fear. All right, let's just make this happen. So we're going to do Paralyzing Fright. I have the kicker with a 2 and a 3. I'm not going to set these. It's just prolonging the inevitable right now. Let me get rid of the 3rd camera. So I'm going to generate 8 fear. So it's a fear card. So it's still a remainder of 4. And then I have some defend powers, but who cares about that? And now I'm going to do Pyroclastic Bombardment. Within 2, I do have a Sacred Site there. So I'm going to do 1 damage to each, but I have 2 Badlands there. So I'm going to kill the city, 1 damage to each of these. So that's 2 fear for killing the city. And then 1 more damage, I'm going to wipe out the town. So that's 1 more fear for that. And now I'm going to do Explosive Eruption. I'm going to just take away 1. 1 becomes 3 because there's 2 Badlands. That's going to wipe out 1 of these towns, injure the other. That's a fear. And terror level 3. Woo! I don't know how that came together. Yeah, and I totally went back and I was like, no, I have to do this. And I'm totally fine with that. So that was insane. All right. My friends and I did level 6 England in honor of the late Queen. Lost horrendously. Yeah, level 6 England is nuts. I had a bad internet attack. Guess I will need to rewatch this later. Oh, dude, sorry about that. Did you build in the sands instead of an explorer? Did I build in sands instead of an explorer? I did. No. We explored. I think wait, the sands came off. Oh, did I build here because, oh, I don't know, dude. I built in a land with the most that had cities and towns. So was this not supposed to be here? I mean, worst case scenario, like I could do this here and I can get the fear. I mean, there was a city and a town here that I definitely could have put there, so that was fine. That was all legit. So the question is, should I have had this town? I probably not. I think you're right. So ultimately, it would have just been destroyed anyway. So yeah, this extra town was irrelevant. The city and the town, this definitely built because I mean, the city. I don't know. I'd have to watch it back, man. That sounds right though. I still would have had the city. I mean, worst case scenario, again, if I remove tokens, I can target here just to remove these 2 tokens, and that's 2 fear. So I definitely would have had the fear from other sources. I think. Why did you in towns and cities to sands and not explorers? Did I get confused by that? Was there not a city here? I've got 8. I would only needed 8 fear, right? So I mean, worst case scenario, I could have destroyed this town No, I couldn't have destroyed that. Yeah, Pyroclastic bombardment. I could have destroyed both of these towns. So that town was fine. I should have had at least. I had one town here though too, right? And then I could have just targeted something with this. Yeah. So if I didn't have the town or the city there, if I just still need to find a way to get the 3 fear, this would have come off, and then I could have targeted with pent up calamity. One of these two. Yeah, I couldn't have done that. Yeah, nothing else gave me a fast fear, I think. Or I don't even play pent up calamity. What I could have done is blood draws predators. No, I need a pent up calamity. Definitely need a pent up calamity. I don't know. I'll have to watch it back and see what happened. Otis's victory, good game, very nice explosive victory. I think it was escalation. It didn't matter in the end. Yeah, it might have. I mean, I don't think it did, but it definitely might have. I think it was. Well, the escalation shouldn't have affected this board, right? So I think I might have got confused. The escalation would have caused a city to build here. I think that's what I did. I think I just built in the sands because of the symbol. What I should have done is built a city here. And then when I wiped that out, when I took the 1 away, that would have caused loss in a lava and steam. That would have killed that city. And then I would have been able to do pyroclastic bombardment, kill the town. So again, it would have just figured out how to get the 4 fear. I'll look back at it later and I'll put a comment like how I could have get the 4 fear. But I'll like do like a spoiler shield or something to kind of figure it out for people that care about that stuff. And then pent up calamity obviously would have given me access to minimum 2 more fear, because I could have just removed those 2 tokens and gotten 2 fear that way. So between a city destruction, there definitely would have been a city somewhere. That escalation should have caused a city here, probably not here. So I could have got 2 fear from that and 2 fear from pent up calamity, and then extra fear from pyroclastic bombardment. Paralyzing fright was just a super strong card for me to give me a chance to kind of pull this off. And again, it was like I don't mind if it's like, man, well that didn't make any sense. I would need to refigure this, get me the defend 4, put that fear back. I know it can be annoying to watch. I try not to do it too much. The one thing that I didn't want to do this playthrough and not have the big bop. I mean, just to see Volcano take control of the board and give you a chance in this challenge, especially in varied terrains, and especially against England, that was super important. And I forget, what did I need? Yeah, I took back Pyroclastic Bombardment because I needed that element trio, because you just having that as a starting card. I don't even know if minor powers. I don't know if there's any minor powers that give that element trio to you at all, which is crazy. Does not appear to be the case. So Pyroclastic Bombardment, if you want to do a big bop, is kind of like a necessary card. Good to Steam Vents gives it to you, so that makes sense. So there's 1 card in here that gives it to you. I mean, there's obviously the cards that give you 3 elements of your choice. Desiccating Wind gives it to you. That's nice to know. Hazard Spread Across the Island gives it to you. So 4 cards, including the one that you can just choose 3 elements. And yeah, 4 cards in the whole deck. So yeah, getting rid of Pyroclastic Bombardment was an absolute bad decision. But we just managed to make it work. I mean, you just do that, get the Paralyzing Fright. It's like, it was really tempting to take Casting Out the Briny Deeps. It's like, no, I need Paralyzing Fright. I need to survive. It was really tempting to do some other things, but you just find a way to make it work. This puzzle is amazing. And Finder, it just takes a while. You just get lost. I mean, I found the bottom track just not strong enough. Like, I really always wanted that sun. It just gives you so much flexibility with late pass where they cannot help but walk, just to push 1 explorer, push 1 invader, and then getting up to that 2 money right away really helps. But you're kind of have to loop back, so you're really looking at spamming growth option B until you can get down to that 2 card plays a turn. I think Finder with growth through sacrifices would be absolutely disgusting as a as a way to go for sure. But Stefan says don't give him a headache. I mean, any headaches are Otis's fault. No, this is great. I love these patron challenges. I love to see how my patrons have been super creative and giving me some really meaty things to work with. I mean, even Josh is like, hey, or do the All-Star team for Zeds. I thought was like really just a cool twist. Like kind of let me test out my theories. Also, without buildings on board, you only need Terra level 2. Oh, that's a good point. There are no buildings on the board. I could have just wiped out all the buildings. Would have been so much easier. It's freaking great. It's the fun with the winky face. That makes the balance of that card interesting. Always seemed a bit weak. Force 3 cost, but it's necessary for big bops. Then it's more strong. Yeah. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Big headaches. All right, kids, this was fun. It's later than normal for me. I'm going to go hang out at Mrs. Playthroughs, but this was awesome. Otis, thanks again for all your support of the channel, and glad that this came together. I'll be back tomorrow at my normal time, 2 o'clock. We're going to do Cloudspire, the final air scenario. We're going to knock that out and be done with the airs for a while. We'll get over to the Aurora, I think, are next in the solo scenario book. So excited for that. And then on Friday, the Shores of Tripoli review copy sent to me by Fort Circle Games. I'll get that on the channel. Cool little war game. Not a huge war game guy. I like history games enough. They're kind of like gonna fall for me like where Pavlov's House fell. Like a really cool experience. Glad to own it. Super appreciative for the review copy. Just probably not a forever game for me, but if that's your genre, that's your jam. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a very cool game with some interesting ideas that are thrown in it. So next week we're back to the Maze Night, and I gotta look at the schedule. I think Too Many Bones is definitely due, and I got some other ideas. Still looking to get Horizon Zero Dawn on the channel before too long. So lots of exciting stuff, but this was really cool. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, happy gaming.
Sol.